Hello, good evening, and welcome to Watchdog Wargaming. Right, so at the moment I'm painting my US Marine Corps, not for World War II, but actually for Korea. So using bolt action, US Marine Corps, but I'm also using sprues from the US Airborne and US Army. So what I've done so far is, as I'll explain, is say for instance this chappie. Um, I don't know if you can see him, but they've all been based. I base mine on pennies, so Queen's head always goes down. So it's a case of them glued to the Queen. Um, the figure itself has been super glued onto the actual penny, and then I've used the um, Astro Granite, Citadel Astro Granite over the top of it, and then it's been sprayed with the a grey primer from Halfords. So these are all these of this particular one is got it's got the US Marine Corps running body, but the arms for the grease gun are actually from US Army sprue. In Korea, the actual grease gun was in use and basically came out to replace the Thompson, and it was still actually used up until the early 80s with tank crewmen over in Germany. Um, yeah, so this is what I'm doing at the moment. So this, as you can see, sort of the chappie with the machete here. That's the machete arm off the US Airborne. The only thing I did on there was put a sheath on the back for its scabbard. So I'm in the process of painting the face. I do sort of the faces or the skin elements first, and then sort of do the uniform. So again, this is a sniper one I had. So this is US Marine Corps body. The arms I think are actually from US Army, and it had a Springfield sniper rifle. And then the head is US Marine Corps, but it's the chappie with a soft cap, and that's what I've used for my sniper. It's the head with the soft cap, and it looks like he's got a cigarette or a cigar hanging out his mouth. I thought that was quite apt for a sniper. These would probably be used for US Marine Corps, like I said, in Korea, but for sort of the earlier part of the war where it was sort of like their summer springtime, whereas it was um, a lot warmer. Um, so these uniforms would have been most of these carry-ons from sort of World War II era. So you've still got sort of like the drill cotton uniforms. The webbing was still World War II issue. The helmet cover, everything else. So yeah, so all I'm doing at the moment is just the faces. Um, I got that's the bar automatic rifle. That's come off the U.S. Army sprue. With the U.S. Marine Corps, you do have prone figures with the bar, but for whatever reason, sort of, I didn't like the way they were in the prone position, so I've got a few that are actually pointing up, pointing down, or whatever, but in various different poses. But I do like the way where they're carrying it. Um, yeah, so for reference, I have got sort of like this book, which is Allied Soldiers of World War II. See if we can get that lamp out of the way. Yeah. And in there, it's actually very good coloured pictures. See if we can find you. So you've got yeah, those camouflage uniforms there. They're not actually Marines. Sorry, these ones here are Marines, but this, believe it or not, this combat pattern here was actually used in Normandy by the US Army, but they actually stopped it because they were getting mistaken for SS, and a few blue on blue issues changed. The actual overalls are actually reversible, so you've got this green camouflage on one side, and on the inside it's like a brown camouflage. So I use these for reference for painting sort of all the different troops and everything else, but what I'm using it for is the yeah. So I use this for the late 45 for painting all the uniform, all the webbing, the actual poncho and everything else. So you've got two types of ponchos. So you've got the green one, and then you've also got the brown one here as well. So you can have different options for Marine Corps. A lot of them had the Garand rifles, the M1 carbines. Yeah, so this is actually a good book. So if you do sort of a lot of painting, so this is actually quite a good book. Historian and collections. So yeah, so painting. Well, like I says, I do outside in, so I do all the faces and the hands and the arms first, and then sort of go over the uniforms, and then right at the end of it, if I made any mistakes, then I'll go over it. There's no right or wrong to doing it. As I said, this is the way I do it, and the way I've always done it. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, he's going to get some paint straight out of the tub, put it into there. Yeah, it's I'm trying to get into a sort of like a milky sort of consistency. Two coats and all that. So what have I done him? Yeah. So what I'll do is go over what I try to do in batch painting of 10, but for some strange reason I've got this lot already to do. So like I said, I just sort of get it on there, and if it, so the paint at the moment is probably a bit too watery. So it's if it is too watery, just dab it off with a brush and put a bit more paint on. Stick it in your mouth, stick the brush in your mouth, get that tip back. And do on the faces, yeah. So this one's a little bit more thicker than I would like, but it gets it on there. Not quite a one coat, but it'll dry where I want it. Now everybody says about, was it flags, faces and bases? Now, yeah, okay, fair enough. I like my bases. I'm really poor at doing faces, so as you probably see with my work later on, it'll be lots of contours and lots of highlighting, but you probably won't see any eyes because I can't do eyes. But never mind, it'll come with practice. So yeah, so normally if I'm not talking to you or talking to myself, I will have an audio book on or listen to some music. Dug out the old Scar records at the moment, so I'm having a bit of a retro moment, catching up with the old Scar stuff. So Beat Specials, Selector, can't get away with a bit of Madness. So yeah, a bit of London, a bit of Coventry, a bit of Birmingham. But yeah, so I'll go over these, and then sort of if they need another coat, I'll do that. So usually afterwards, when they've dried off, I've actually noticed that there's a bit I haven't done, or I need to go over again, or I've missed a bit. But yeah, lots of skin in here. I'm actually using Citadel layer Cadian flesh tone. It might be a little bit darker, and especially if you're but for me it's you're simulating someone's probably in the sun for a bit. The other thing I know about this is ignite. Well, I've taken off as many of the much as the sort of the lines and everything else that's showing on the arms from the actual plastic process, getting rid of the sprues. Every now and again you come across a line, so I end up stopping, scraping the line off, and then just painting over it again. So also as well, it's one thing I like to do is I like to read up on the subject. You've seen the books I sort of use; they're actually quite good. Do quite a lot of searching on online, watch the actual newsreels. That's our movie tone and everything else. So you can see what, So I've got a right mixed match of weapons here. The only thing that I haven't got is actually Marines carrying PPSHs. So I've actually got one or two pictures of US Marine Corps carrying PPSHs, which no doubt they're probably captured. I think it's when they were retreating from Chosin Reservoir. But yeah, I suppose if your ammunition's run out or low, the only thing you've got is captured weapons. I'm sure they would be using that. Yeah, so I'll be interested to see what people do for their brushes, how they paint faces and stuff. I'll paint the skins. Like I says, mine's not the right way, it's not the wrong way, it's my way. That's where I like doing it. Probably takes a lot longer than other things, and yes, I do it straight from the pot. I know, terrible. I should go and flog myself later. But yeah, so okay, like I said, I've just gone over the figure, and I'm just even now I'm noticing underneath the arms and stuff like that. So it's but later on, if I use something like Agrax Earthshade, that will give me the shadow in the arms and actually darken anything that I've missed off. So it's again with these US Marine Corps figures, they're actually quite a lot of some of their uniforms are raggedy, and so you can actually see the skin underneath. Yeah, a lot of these have actually got different equipment. Like I said, you've got the US Army sprues, US Airborne sprues, and I think I've got even the sort of Ranger stuff on here as well. So it's a right mix match. The US Marine Corps were very notorious once they're in the field to actually get hold of any equipment, whether it was new, old, whatever suits their purpose. And Korea was no exception. It was only until later on when the weather started changing, and they started coming out with their cold weather kit. That's it. Actually, there was a dramatic change on the uniforms. But certainly for the sort of earlier summer months, sort of like the charge up through Korea, did they have all the uniforms you probably see that they used during the invasion of all the islands during World War II. Ding. So yeah, so at the moment, lots of faces. What I'll do is once I've done the faces, then I'll sort of I'll move on to the next bit, which will probably be the uniforms. Now the uniforms is I use a Valerio color on that one. The Valerio color is, well, it's Valerio grey green. I don't know if that camera can. Where is it? Yeah, Valerio grey green. So I use that for the uniforms, with a bit of Russian uniform as well. Russian uniform. So yeah, so lots of different shades of green. And like I showed you in the picture, so there a lot of the kit is leather, leather or canvas. I'll dig out those later on. If it's too watery, just wipe it off. Let the brush soak off the surplus. I'll take it from there. So with the back of the head, back of the neck. Like I said, at this stage, if you make a mess or go over the helmet, you can paint it over, but it's nothing worse than doing all the helmets and doing all the uniforms, trying to do the back of the neck, and you blob it everywhere. So let's see what we've got on the weapons on these ones. So these ones are armed with the this will be the Garand with the sort of being fitted. So what I've done is a squad of figures charging with the Garand bayonets fixed. I've got the Browning also in the charge. I've got the I think it's the M9, yeah, grease gun, and he's reloading. So that's one squad, and then sort of just messing around with a few spare arms. So that chappie there, he's drinking from his canteen. So I think the canteens are from the US Army sprue. A couple more Garands, Thompson machine gun, that's pointing. It's over there, and this chappie here, he's got some hand grenade in his hand, pineapple. So they're going to throw it or thinking about throwing it. What else we've got on here? Okay, so a spotter. So that's the, let's get this camera thing to focus. So that here is that's off the US airborne sprue, US Marine Corps kneeling body. So I can use him as an artillery spotter or the number 2 with the sniper rifle. Yeah, a couple more blokes. I think that arm came off the US Army sprue one, and it's, again, if you link it with an arm, it looks like he's just putting a cigarette into his mouth. Dead cash. There is one on here that's I quite like. It's a sort of I don't know if he's a cross between Gunny Highway, Telly Savalas, Callie's Heroes type of pose. He's got a helmet on, unclipped. It looks like he's just about to say something or do something. Certainly got that dramatic pose on him. Well, I won't bore you anymore, so what I'll do is I'll finish off the rest of these, and then so you've done all the faces, then I'll move on to the uniforms next, uniforms and helmets, and then I'll come back then. So yeah, thanks for your time, for me wittering on, and I'll catch up with you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.